We are not anarchist brats who lash out at our fellow citizens and hide our faces to avoid the consequences. Did you see the ones in Portland last week? They showed up in Portland at a free speech rally. They raised hell. They got violent. They beat people. And then they got corralled and tagged by the cops and all of their weapons confiscated. That's exactly what we want to see. Before we get started, let's thank the NYPD. Yes! Blue lives matter! 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 You know, we contacted them right at the very beginning when we decided to do this because we knew what kind of opposition we were going to get. But we knew we were going to have these crazy loons over here raising hell, beating their pots and pans, and that's cool. That's cool. They can do whatever they want. They got drive out. Okay, whatever. I'm not even going to read their signs. They can get a permit and have their own rally if they want. So why are we here? So we're having rallies in 28 cities across the U.S. today. So this is all being organized by Bridget Gabrielle's Act for America. Right? She's fantastic. Bridget is fantastic. She calls it exactly like she sees it. She is a Lebanese-born patriot. She's with the United States. And she's been calling out radical Islam and Sharia as longer than anybody else. She's fantastic. Who here was at the Pam Geller event the other day? Yes! That was fantastic. So Pam showed up. Milo was there. It was fantastic. We were all there, you know. And here's the thing: it's like just the fact that we have to have overwhelming security, and you know the threats that everybody who's organized this, the threats that we're getting is insane. They actually had to shut down the rally that they had planned for Portland, Oregon, because the mayor of Portland was, you know, he was saying that we were this white supremacist, Christian supremacist hate group. I mean, it was insane. It was disgusting. So he turned up the rhetoric so high that they had to move the Portland event to Seattle. But so anyway, they're going to be in 28 cities around the U.S. today. The support we've received is overwhelming. After Manchester, after the attack that occurred in Manchester, and then again on the London Bridge, everybody just flooded to us. They said, why are we not having one of these in our own city? We're sick of seeing this. We've been told for 8 years, every time there is a terror attack, no, this has nothing to do with Islam. This has, you know, there are plenty of moderate Muslims, and this has nothing to do with Islam, and you have to just shut up. And it's really your Islamophobia. That's the real problem going on here. So the reason that we're here today is say, fuck you. We see exactly what's going on. We are going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it publicly. If these assholes get a voice in the public forum to talk about exactly what's going on and to criticize us, well, guess what? We are Americans too. We get to meet in the public forum. We get to talk about our concerns. We get to talk about our love for our country. And that's fine. So, and you notice through this whole last 2 years of this insane election cycle, you notice no violence was occurring at the other side's rallies. Why was that? Because we weren't going over there and fucking with them. Because we gave them a voice. We didn't do anything to them. It was them coming to our rallies, raising hell, trying to false flag us as bigots and racists, because that's all the media knows how to do. You know, and it's insane. And you know, but the reason that we're here today is we're out here to publicly call out an ideology that promotes radicalization, terror, the crushing of human rights, the enslavement of women, the extermination of gays, and celebrates the death of Jews, Christians, Europeans, and Muslims alike.
So why is the Democratic Party supporting that type of BS?
Why are the Democrats supporting it? I'll get to that. I'm going to tell you exactly why they're supporting it. Sharia is a political ideology in the guise of religion. It has spread this political ideology, this ideology of conquest. Sharia and its followers use the freedoms that we have in this country. They use their freedoms against us. They use our freedoms against us. They use our freedom of religion. They use our freedom of speech. They use our freedom of assembly. Islamofascism, driven by the orthodoxy of Sharia, is the enemy of our times. That's it. There's nothing else going on. This is the worst thing that we are facing right now. This is Islamofascism. That's what we are here to talk about today. Many of us, many of you aren't old enough to remember the Cold War and aren't old enough to remember the Soviet Union. And many of these people who are here promoting Marxism, they have no clue that the only way that this Marxist utopia worked was by a bloody police state that crushed human rights. That's the only way it worked. And these people are out here supporting that. They want it. They wanted Bernie Sanders, who was like Marxist light. They're insane. They have no idea. So there's a few things, but before we go on, there's a couple of things that I want to clear up. Okay, what we're doing here, these are grassroots events. Okay, these are put on locally by they were proposed by Act for America. Every rally that occurs today was put on by local organizers. Okay, there was a rally in Arkansas, and it passed through several hands for the past month as it was being organized, and guess what? It landed in the hands of a guy who was legit a neo-Nazi. As soon as Act of America found out about that, they shut it down. They said, we want nothing to do with you. You do not represent why we are here. We have no room for that. Everybody here represents all ideologies in America. We've got every single religion represented here and all over the country. What's happening in other cities, we couldn't get them here, but what's happening in other cities, we've got victims of female genital mutilation. We have ex-Muslims who have had to go undercover and face death threats. Don't get me started on CNN. So just to clear, that's what we all kinds of groups are saying they're associated with us. When we identified, real, neo-Nazis in this group, we threw them out. We did not want them here. Okay? So another lie that's being pushed by the media concerns the stabbing death of 2 men in Portland, Oregon. Okay, and they're really ramping this up. So what happened? So a lot of you guys know. So some of the people who were at Trump rallies, you saw this guy named Jeremy Christian, this total douchebag. He was this racist asshole. He was a Bernie bro. He was a fucking Bernie supporter. He was showing up at Trump rallies. He was starting shit. The Trump supporters pointed him out to the cops, had him removed, and he just went on about his way. He's got a rap sheet a mile long. So he turned up in Portland. He was on a train. He started harassing 2 little Muslim girls. Started harassing them, talking shit to them, and a couple of guys went in and tried to intervene. Okay, and he stabbed them. So what the media has been doing ever since then, because he's white and he was harassing Muslims, so we're all in that same shit pulled together. They're trying to say that he is one of us, that he's part of us. Okay, and it's not. We had nothing to do with that, and because that happened, the mayor of Seattle, when we staged this event in Portland, Oregon, the mayor went to the feds and he said, this is a white nationalist hate group, and they're trying to incite violence against Muslims, and he tried to get the permits revoked, and the feds said, no, you can't do that. We have the freedom of speech to be here and say what we want to say. They shut him down. Then the ACLU went and shut him down too, and they said no. They have a right to say whatever they want to say. For once, the ACLU actually took the right side. It's insane. So just because it was a tinderbox over there, they moved the event from Portland to Seattle. That was a good move. I mean, we can't blame them for doing that. We don't want any violence. That's why we have all the security here. That's why we're working with the cops. That's why we're barricaded up the ass. Because we don't want.
CNN are the terrorists. They are the terrorists, ladies and gentlemen. They're in bed with DC Hottie.
Thank you. So calm down. So groups have been doing the same thing with us. They're saying these people over here, these assholes, They're saying we are a Christian supremacy group. This is what they're saying. This is how they got all these people over here. They say we are a Christian supremacy group, and we are here to advocate for violence against Muslims. This is what they're saying. This is what they're telling all of these useful idiots over here with their pots and pans and their kazoos. They're telling him that, that we're here to incite violence. So these are the lies that we have to deal with every single day. And every conservative in this group, that this is what we have to deal with. This is the culture that we have to deal with. It's starting at the universities. It's being spread out insanely. So I'm gonna say this right now, and I'm gonna keep saying this. We are here to exercise our freedom of assembly. We are here to exercise our freedom of speech. We are here to exercise our freedom of conscience, and we are here to exercise our freedom of association. We have no problem hearing anybody. We will listen to anybody. What the left does to its enemies is it reduces us down to these two-dimensional characters. It reduces us down to, you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist, you're an Islamophobe, you're a homophobe, you're this, you're that. That's all they do. They reduce people down to these two-dimensional stereotypes, and then they don't have to engage with us. They don't have to listen to our ideas. They don't have to listen to anything that they don't agree with. So this is the behavior of 2-year-olds. This is really what the left does. This is like 2-year-old behavior. And look at them over here. This is political discourse to them. They blow their fucking trumpets to drown out any idea that they don't want to hear. This is it. This is what the left does. They bang their pots and pans, and this is it. This is what we're dealing with in this country. Every single person in here, I'm sure if I sat down, any person in this group, and talked to you about the Constitution, talked to you about why you love this country, we could have a good conversation. These people can't do that. They're completely fucking nuts. Okay, so Trump's travel ban is now sailing up to the Supreme Court, right? So we've been waiting. I was sitting around for like a month saying, why the hell are you not going to the Supreme Court with this? And now we have Gorsuch in place, so that's great. But here's the thing with the travel ban. Determining immigration policy is solely the prerogative of the President of the United States. Okay? It's not, we don't have these philosopher king district judges, who read into a candidate's heart and say, well, no, you said something on the campaign that I feel is offensive, and so therefore we are going to restrict the powers of the presidency of the United States because we don't like something that you said as a private citizen running for office. Because he came out and he said, yeah, we need to have a temporary ban on Muslims entering this country. And then he walked it back a week later and he said, look, we need to start dealing with the terror hotspots, which is good, and that's what the ban is for. This was actually Obama's ban that he's now implementing. That's right, yeah, it's the exact same countries that Obama identified. So here's the bottom line about the travel ban. Okay. The left does not care about refugees, okay? The left does not care about refugees. If they cared about refugees, they would demand that Saudi Arabia accept them. If the left cared about the well-being of refugees, they would demand that Muslim nations in the area, incredibly wealthy Muslim nations in the area, accepted these refugees. Okay? They would also cooperate with Trump's proposal to set up safe zones within Syria. Okay? They would support that. Who would not support that? Setting up safe zones in Syria. The left doesn't care about the well-being of refugees. The left cares about one thing. One thing they care about. Mass immigration from the third world. That is the only thing that the left cares about. They care about importing the hardest cases in the world, embarking them on a lifetime of government dependence, so that they can be easily harangued into block voting for big socialist programs that will keep them in poverty. This is what we're seeing. Is we're seeing corrupt big city Democrat politics hijacking our national security. That's what we're seeing here. You know, and the left. You know, here's the other thing. The left also doesn't care about religion. It doesn't care about religious sensitivity. When they say, "Oh no, we're here to defend Muslims," fuck that. They do not care about religious sensitivity. They give each other awards and make movies and write books and do comedy bits bashing Christians. They don't care about religion. Yeah, they will. If I prayed in a public school, the fucking ACLU would be on me in a minute. They don't care about religion. They don't care about Muslims. They don't care about Muslims. Here's what the left does. The left reduces people down into groups. This is a totalitarian tactic. They reduce people down into groups. You are black, you are white, you are gay, you are Muslim. They break them down into groups, and then they convince them that you are victims. You are aggrieved victims from you know, whatever. You're victims. This is how they keep people. They have to keep people in victimhood. They have to keep people in victimhood so that then Democrats can say, guess what? We're your special friends. And we're going to protect you from all these evil conservatives. We're going to protect you from everybody. You need us. You're victims. You're in this group. They don't care what the groups actually do or what they represent. They just care about breaking them down into absolute two-dimensional groups so they can convince them that they're aggrieved. They can convince them that they're victims.
And we're all in this together, ladies and gentlemen.
But here's the thing. The left is now playing with a group that they have never fucking played with before. They are playing with an enemy that they have never played with before. Every few days and every few weeks, we see another attack in the name of Islam. Okay? And the mantra is always the same. Not all Muslims are bad. This has nothing to do with Islam. Not all Muslims are bad. This has nothing to do with Islam. That's the mantra that they play. This is the strategy of the global Islamic movement. A terror attack occurs, and then groups like the Muslim Brotherhood, groups like CARE, they step in and they set the narrative. They control the narrative. See, they don't want to hear this. And the narrative will be this, that this has nothing to do with Islam, that Muslims are actually the biggest victims here because of our Islamophobia. We're the oppressors, we're the aggressors. This is the narrative that groups like CARE, groups like the Muslim Brotherhood push. And then you have leaders across the West tell everybody, we need to unite, we need to embrace our Muslim friends, and then they lecture us about our tolerance, and they lecture us about the religion of peace. And we know this isn't about all Muslims because not every person who identifies with a Muslim wants to live under Sharia. Not every person who identifies as a Muslim supports female genital mutilation, supports the extermination of gays, supports enslaving women. Not everybody who identifies as a Muslim supports that. But what we are watching unfolding in the world, what we're watching unfolding in Europe, has everything to do with Islam. Everything to do with Islam. All the enemies that we are engaged with, Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State, the Muslim Brotherhood, and nation states like Saudi Arabia and Iran, they tell us clearly and without apology, it's their obligation to wage jihad until the entire world is subjugated under Sharia. They don't even apologize saying that. They said that right after Obama's fucking nuclear deal with Iran. They said, great, death to America, we're coming for you. And they didn't care. The fucking left is insane. They don't care because they hate America too. And what they're pushing, this comes right out of the Quran. It comes right out of the Sunnah, the teachings of Muhammad. And this is a war that they've been waging for 1,400 years. The Islamic State is not an aberration. The Islamic State is not some random group of guys who's out doing shit and calling themselves Islam. The Islamic State is an attempt to revive the caliphate that existed between 632 and ended in 1924 when the first secular president of Turkey abolished the caliphate. The Islamic State is trying to revive that. Two things happened in the 20th century that led to the militarization of Islam that we're seeing right now. And this was they found oil in Saudi Arabia, and the Ayatollah Khomeini ushered in the Islamic Revolution in Iran. Those two events led to where we are right now. And the left is rolling over because, you know, the only thing that they care about is their diversity regime. The FBI learned from the Holy Land Foundation trial, the largest terrorism financing trial in history, and they uncovered through investigation that the Muslim Brotherhood is waging civilization jihad. This is their words. It's not our words. This is the Muslim Brotherhood's words. They are engaging in civilization jihad to destroy our civilization from within. And groups like CARE are working with the extreme left, the Marxist left over here, and socialist groups in the media because they share the same goal, to tear down American society and rebuild it in their worldview. You know, the left wants to create this Marxist utopia, and the Islamic movement wants to create a global caliphate under Sharia. And they say this. You know, they're completely upfront about this. But in the meantime, they will work together to tear down the United States because the United States is the only thing standing in their way. You know, and when an attack occurs, there's an orchestrated response, and they're the ones who are setting the narrative. It's intended to exploit Americans' tolerance and our sense of fairness. We are in a war of narratives, and as long as we refuse to discuss the truth about Islam, we are going to lose that war. As long as we refuse to stand up and say, we see what we're seeing, this is Islam, this has everything to do with Islam, we are going to lose this war. Our first line of defense is our freedom of speech, our freedom of assembly, our freedom of conscience, and our freedom of association. And it's no surprise that this is exactly what these people are trying to shut down. And this is not good. You know, and you know, if you know, we have freedom of religion in this country. You can be a Christian, you can be a Catholic, you can follow Scientology, you can be Muslim, you can be Hindu. But if you choose to align yourself with totalitarian ideology, which clearly states that its followers are obligated to destroy Western democracy, it's not our responsibility to apologize so that you don't feel uncomfortable. If you promote that, we get to talk about it. And if you feel uncomfortable, tough shit. If you promote an ideology that demands the enslavement of women, the extermination of gays, it's not our obligation to look the other way so that you don't feel uncomfortable. We will call it exactly what it is. If you feel threatened walking around with a hijab, try being a conservative on a college campus. Look at them. If you try to wear a Make America Great hat, taking the L train, you'll get your ass beat. You know what I say is, go ahead and call us racist. You can call us Islamophobes. You can call us whatever you want, because we know what we're doing. We know that we are on the right side of history. We know that we are protecting rights that have been put in here to protect all of us. We are here protecting these people's rights. We're protecting their right to be there. This is insane. We are here protecting their rights, and they are trying to shut us down. That's insane. So, you know, they're going to scream, and they're going to yell, and they're going to slander, and they're going to attack us because they know that we aren't a threat to them. You know, they're going to write in all their papers that we are the ones instigating violence. They're going to slander us. They're going to completely trash us because they know that we are not going to go and attack them. They're going to trash Christians. They're going to bash Christians at every point because they know that Christians are not going to threaten their lives. They're going to attack they're going to attack the Jewish people because they know that they're not going to be harmed. They're going to bash men for a non-existent rape culture because they know that men are not going to go and beat them down. You know, but they're not going to criticize Islam because they're fucking pussies. So we are all here, all of you are here doing what these assholes are too afraid to do. So, you have the right to embrace any ideology you want in this country. And we have the right to criticize your ideology. You know, we have a right to say, this is acceptable in this country, this is not acceptable in this country. And we have avenues to enact laws to protect our citizens. We have avenues to enact laws to safeguard everybody's rights. These guys don't even want to even have the beginning of that conversation. I mean, this is disgusting. You know, if you embrace totalitarianism, which is what these people have done, it's our right to, we don't have to excuse you. You know, we don't have to excuse ourselves for standing up to Islamofascism. We do not have to apologize for it. You know, if nothing else, if I could tell every single person in here, let them call you a racist. Who gives a shit? I first came out supporting Trump about 2 weeks after he announced. I started doing media. I lost a job. I lost a great paying job because they started calling me a racist and a bigot. Fuck you. You know, go ahead. Knock yourself out. You know Ben Shapiro? Does anybody like Ben Shapiro? Yeah? You like Ben Shapiro? So Ben Shapiro, he talks about American exceptionalism. You know, American exceptionalism is not a geography. It's not because I was born in Manhattan, I'm exceptional. Well, that's true, but it's or I was born in Washington D.C., so that makes me exceptional. Or I was born in Trenton, New Jersey, so that makes me. That's not what American exceptionalism is. American exceptionalism is the principles on which our nation was founded. That's what makes us exceptional. You know, we are the only nation on earth. We are the only nation on earth that was founded on the idea that all men are created equal under God. And we are the only nation on earth that waged a bloody civil war and ended slavery to redeem that promise. We will not yield to totalitarianism, we will not yield to the Marxist left, and we will not yield to the global Islamic movement. You know, this exceptionalism in this country, it belongs to every single one of you here today. You know, the Constitution and what is given to us under the Bill of Rights, what has been passed down to us from our beautiful Constitution, it lives in every single one of you. And every single one of you, it's your duty to protect it. Because if you don't protect it, it's gone. We are here protecting it for everybody. We are here protecting it for these people. We are here protecting it from that guy. We are here protecting it for everybody. You know, and it's beautiful that this happened. You know, who was at the Build the Wall rally? Who was here? Who was at the Build the Wall rally outside of Trump down? Yeah, well, it wasn't that well attended, but it was great. You should have been there because I heard that he was there looking down and he saw us. But you know, here's the thing. It's like the reason that we're here today is because we get the right to stand here and say what we believe in without threat of intimidation, without fear of retaliation. We get to say what we feel. We get to say what we believe in, and we get to say why we love this country. And we get to say what we are and are not going to tolerate in this country.